Some tests in life come with pain, fear, and loss. You see them coming, and you prepare yourself. But there is one test that almost no one prepares for, because it doesn't feel like a test at all. It feels like love. It enters your life gently, fills your thoughts, warms your heart, and suddenly, someone matters more than you expected. You think Allah has gifted you happiness, not realizing He is also examining your heart. Allah tests people with hardship to see who is patient, but He tests people with love to see who is loyal. Because when love is involved, excuses come easily, boundaries feel heavy, and disobedience starts to sound reasonable. No one plans to drift away from Allah. It happens slowly, through attachment, through justification, through choosing comfort one moment at a time. This test is not about romance. It is about priority. It is about what you protect when emotions are strong, and what you are willing to sacrifice when your heart is attached. Allah allows love to grow so that your choices become clear, even to yourself. Many people lose this test without realizing they were being tested. They think they are following their hearts, but in reality, their hearts are leading them away from peace. Others pass the test with tears, confusion, and longing, but with faith still intact. And those hearts, even when broken, are never lost. If you have ever felt torn between what you feel and what you know is right, if you have ever asked Allah why something so powerful feels so complicated, then understand this: you were never weak. You were being tested, and what you choose next matters more than what you feel right now. Love exposes who you obey. When love pulls you in two directions, that is when the real test starts. On one side is what your heart wants, and on the other side is what Allah has commanded. Allah allows your heart to become attached so you can clearly see which voice you follow when they clash. This is not about how strong your feelings are. Feelings come and go. This is about who you listen to when obeying Allah feels difficult. Sometimes the test appears in small moments. You delay or skip a prayer because you are busy talking to someone. You stay in conversations you know are wrong because you fear upsetting them. You change the way you dress, speak, or behave so you don't lose their approval. Each of these moments is a quiet question from Allah asking, who comes first in your life right now? Allah is not expecting you to be emotionless. He knows love is powerful. That is exactly why it is a test. When desire tells you to cross a line and faith tells you to stop, your choice shows who has authority over your heart. If pleasing a person becomes more important than pleasing Allah, then love has taken a place it was never meant to have. Obedience does not change overnight. It shifts slowly. First, you make excuses, then you justify. Then what once felt wrong starts to feel normal. Allah allows this process so you can recognize it before it goes too far. He is giving you awareness, not punishment. Allah does not judge you by what you feel in your heart, because you do not fully control that. He looks at what you do with those feelings. Do they pull you closer to Him or push you away? Do they make you protect your prayers and values, or do they make you sacrifice them? At the end of this test, Allah is teaching you something very important. Love is never supposed to lead you. It is supposed to follow obedience. When Allah remains first, love stays in its correct place. When Allah is pushed aside, love turns into something that controls you instead of something that blesses you. Feelings are not permission. Strong feelings can be very convincing. When the heart feels deeply, The mind starts to believe that those feelings must mean something good, something allowed, something meant to be. This is where many people get confused. Allah never made feelings a proof that something is right. Feelings are part of being human, but they were never given the authority to decide what is halal and what is haram. Allah allows emotions to grow without opening doors, so you can learn this lesson clearly. You may care deeply about someone, miss them, think about them constantly, and still be required to stop. That does not mean Allah is being harsh. It means He is protecting you. Not everything that feels good leads to good outcomes, and not everything that hurts is bad for you. Sometimes people say, "My intentions are pure," but pure intentions do not change rules. You can want marriage, commitment, and a future, yet still be moving in a way Allah did not allow. Allah is teaching you that sincerity without obedience is incomplete. Good intentions need correct actions to be accepted. This test becomes harder when emotions grow stronger over time. The longer feelings stay unchecked, the easier it becomes to believe that Allah will understand if you cross a line. But Allah already understands your heart. That is why He gave boundaries in the first place. Those limits are not there to block love, but to protect it from becoming harmful. Allah wants you to learn self-control before He gives you something permanent. If someone cannot respect Allah's limits while things are uncertain, they will not suddenly respect them once things feel secure. By stopping when Allah says, "Stop," you are proving maturity, not losing love. In this test, Allah is teaching you to separate emotion from permission. Feelings explain what you want, but guidance decides what you do. When you follow guidance, even while your heart struggles, you grow stronger. And that strength is what prepares you for a love that comes with peace, stability, and blessing, not regret. Boundaries separate truth from desire. Boundaries are where love shows its true face. Anyone can speak beautifully about respect and good intentions, but when Allah places limits, reactions reveal reality. Boundaries are not there to make love difficult. They are there to expose whether love is genuine or driven by desire. Allah sets clear limits so you can see who is willing to protect your faith and who is only chasing closeness. When someone truly cares for you, they will not rush you, pressure you, or make you feel guilty for saying no. They will not ask you to cross lines just this once or make you feel that obedience is an obstacle. Respecting boundaries is a form of respect for you and for Allah. Desire always tries to weaken boundaries. It uses excuses. It says waiting is unnecessary, that rules are outdated, that everyone does this, that love makes it acceptable. Allah allows you to hear these whispers so you can learn the difference between discipline and impulse. Boundaries test whether you can pause, reflect, and choose what is right, even when emotions are strong. This test also reveals your own sincerity. It is not only about what the other person asks of you, but what you allow. Sometimes the pressure comes from your own heart, not from them. Allah watches whether you protect yourself or slowly remove limits to stay emotionally comfortable. When boundaries are respected, love becomes calmer, clearer, and safer. When boundaries are ignored, love becomes anxious, confusing, and heavy. Allah wants you to recognize this difference early, before attachment blinds you. By honoring boundaries, you are not losing love. You are protecting yourself from becoming emotionally trapped in something that cannot carry blessing. In this lesson, Allah is teaching you that real love does not fear limits. It grows within them. And anything that constantly pushes against Allah's boundaries is showing you its true intention, even if the words sound sincere. Secrecy signals a failing test. Secrecy is often mistaken for privacy, but they are not the same. Privacy protects dignity, while secrecy hides wrongdoing. Allah makes this difference clear through relationships. When something must be hidden to survive, it is already standing on weak ground. Allah allows secrecy to enter the picture so you can recognize when a test is being failed. Love that is healthy does not fear being seen. It may move slowly, but it does not avoid honesty. When a relationship requires lies, fake stories, deleted messages, or constant fear of being discovered, Allah is sending a warning. What begins in secrecy grows through attachment, not through blessing. Secrecy changes the heart. It creates a private world where accountability disappears. Over time, what once felt uncomfortable starts to feel normal. Allah allows this shift so you can notice how easily the heart adapts to darkness when there is no light of truth. This is part of the test. Whether you recognize that comfort is not the same as correctness. Many people say, "We're not ready to make it public yet." But the question is not about readiness. It is about direction. Are you moving toward clarity, or are you settling into hiding? Allah tests whether you are willing to pause a connection until it can exist in the open, or if you will continue quietly while knowing it displeases Him. Secrecy also creates emotional dependency. When only two people know the truth, the bond feels stronger, but it is built on isolation. Allah does not want your heart to become attached in a way that cuts you off from guidance, family, and support. He wants love to exist within community, honesty, and responsibility. Through this lesson, Allah is teaching you that anything meant to stay in your life should be able to stand in the light. If love collapses when exposed, it was never stable enough to build a future on. And recognizing this early is a mercy, even if it hurts. Leaving can be an act of faith. Leaving is often seen as failure, but in the eyes of faith, leaving can be obedience. Allah tests you by placing something beloved in your life and then asking whether you can let it go when it starts pulling you away from Him. This is one of the hardest tests because it goes against the heart's strongest instinct, to hold on. When a relationship begins to weaken your faith, disturb your peace, or push you toward what Allah has forbidden, staying becomes a risk to your soul. Allah watches whether you recognize this danger or ignore it, because leaving feels too painful. Many people stay, not because the relationship is good, but because separation hurts. Allah tests whether you choose temporary pain or long-term damage. Leaving for the sake of Allah requires courage. It means accepting loneliness, confusion, and unanswered questions. It means trusting that Allah sees your sacrifice even when no one else does. This is not weakness. This is strength, guided by belief. Allah never asks you to give up something without knowing what it costs you. Often, people fear that leaving means they will never love again or never be loved the same way. Allah uses this fear to test your trust in Him. Do you believe that He can replace what you leave behind? Or do you believe that what you are holding is the best you will ever get? Walking away for Allah is a statement of trust in His wisdom and His plan. This lesson also teaches self-respect. Staying in something that harms your faith teaches your heart to accept less than it deserves. Leaving teaches your heart that Allah comes first, even when it hurts. Over time, This choice strengthens your Iman and brings clarity that staying could never provide. Allah does not always reward leaving with immediate ease. Sometimes the relief comes slowly. But peace always follows obedience. What you leave for Allah never truly leaves you empty. It leaves space for something better, even if you cannot see it yet. Love tests your belief in Qadr. Love tests how deeply you believe in destiny, not just how often you talk about it. Many people say they trust Allah's plan, but when love is involved, that trust is shaken. Fear begins to speak. Fear of losing someone. Fear of ending up alone. Fear that this chance will never come again. Allah allows these fears to rise so you can see whether your belief in Qadr is real or only words. When someone thinks they must disobey Allah to keep a relationship, it shows a hidden doubt. It suggests the belief that Allah might take something away if they do not hold on to it tightly. But what Allah has written will never leave you, and what He has not written cannot be forced into your life, no matter how much you try. This test appears when you feel pressured to rush, to cross limits, or to settle for what you know is wrong. The heart whispers that waiting might cost you everything. Allah tests whether you believe that waiting can never cancel what is meant for you. Trusting Qadr means knowing that halal paths do not lead to regret, even if they feel slow and uncertain. Love also tests whether you believe Allah is generous or restrictive. If you think obedience will make your life smaller, then you do not fully trust His wisdom. Allah tests whether you believe He is capable of giving you love that is cleaner, safer, and more lasting than anything you could grab through disobedience. Letting go, waiting, or refusing to cross a line is not losing love. It is placing your trust back where it belongs. When you believe in Qadr, you stop chasing what frightens you and start relying on Allah to deliver what is best for you at the right time. Through this lesson, Allah teaches you calmness. When you truly trust destiny, desperation fades. You no longer panic over outcomes because you know that nothing meant for you can miss you, and nothing meant to harm you can reach you unless Allah allows it. Discipline is the proof of sincerity. Discipline is where sincerity is proven, not in words, but in control. Many people speak about love, commitment, and faith, but Allah looks at what you do when emotions are strongest. Desire is easy to follow. It does not require effort or patience. Discipline, on the other hand, requires you to slow down, restrain yourself, and choose Allah even when your heart is restless. Allah allows emotions to rise so you can see whether they rule you or you rule them. When feelings become intense, the nafs demands comfort, closeness, and immediate relief. Discipline says no when saying yes would be easier. This is the moment Allah is watching, not to trap you, but to strengthen you. True sincerity does not disappear under pressure. If your values only exist when things are easy, they are not firm. Allah tests whether your commitment to Him survives temptation. Can you lower your gaze when attraction is strong? Can you stop a conversation when it crosses a line? Can you step back when attachment becomes unhealthy? These small acts of discipline build a strong heart. Discipline is not about suppressing emotions. It is about managing them. Allah does not want you to deny what you feel. He wants you to direct it properly. Without discipline, love becomes chaotic and draining. With discipline, love becomes calm and balanced, even when it does not last. This test also prepares you for the future. Marriage, responsibility, and long-term commitment all require self-control. If someone cannot control themselves before responsibility, they will struggle after it. Allah uses discipline now to protect you later. Through this lesson, Allah teaches you that sincerity has weight. It costs something. When you choose restraint for His sake, you prove that your faith is not dependent on convenience. And every time you choose discipline over desire, you gain strength that no emotion can take away. The test purifies the heart. At the end of every test, Allah has a purpose, and in this test, the purpose is purification. Allah does not test love to confuse you or to break your heart. He tests love to clean your heart from false attachments, unhealthy dependence, and illusions that pull you away from Him. What feels painful in the moment is often the process of something being removed that did not belong there. Through love, Allah brings hidden weaknesses to the surface. Fear, impatience, insecurity, and neediness all appear when the heart becomes attached. Allah allows you to see these parts of yourself so they can be healed, not ignored. A heart that has never been tested remains unrefined. A heart that has been tested and guided becomes stronger and clearer. Sometimes purification happens by allowing love to stay, but only after it passes through patience, obedience, and restraint. Other times, purification happens through separation. When something leaves your life after you choose Allah, it takes confusion and emotional heaviness with it. What remains is a lighter heart, even if it takes time to feel that way. This test teaches you that not everything you lose is a loss. Some things are removed because they were blocking growth. Allah does not measure success by whether a relationship continues, but by what it leaves inside you. If you come out more aware of Allah, more disciplined, and more at peace with His decree, the test has succeeded. Purification also restores balance. Love is put back into its correct place, no longer controlling you, no longer defining your worth. When the heart is purified, it can love again without fear, desperation, or excess attachment. In this final lesson, Allah is reminding you that He is the safest place for your heart. When love passes through His guidance, it becomes a source of tranquility. When it does not, its removal becomes a mercy. Either way, the heart that chooses Allah always comes out cleaner than before. Love was never meant to replace Allah in your heart. It was meant to reveal what lives there. This test comes to everyone in different forms, but it asks the same question every time. When your heart is pulled, who do you choose? If you chose Allah, even once when it was hard, even when it hurt, that choice was seen, recorded, and honored. Some people pass this test by receiving what they hoped for. Others pass it by, walking away with tears and trust. The outcome is different, but the success is the same. Allah does not test you to take love away from you. He tests you to teach your heart where safety truly is. If something left your life because you chose Allah, know this with certainty. It was never strong enough to stay without costing your soul. And if something stays after obedience, patience, and restraint, it carries a blessing that no emotion alone could ever give. In the end, the heart that belongs to Allah is never truly broken. It is only refined. And a heart refined by Allah is a heart that will never be lost.